What's up, YouTube? Today's another beautiful day for a deck profile and embarrass your friends who are near you. Anywho's, we got the right line, we got everything ready, and today we're gonna do a deck profile on Lululemon, aka Mythiarq Luruthzul, whatever, from Youthquake if you read the manga, which I assume you don't. So let's get started. For the right line, we got Mythiarq Penguin Meko, Mythiarq Elondrina, Mythiarq Luruthzul, and Dratini 2.0. Alright, so skill, generic, don't really go over it. Grade 1. So grade 1 skill is when this unit is rolled upon by grade 2 with Mythiarq in its card name, called to the rear guard. Kinda cool. It's like a forerunner back in the old days. Continue skill, back row rear guard. If your other rear guard with Mythiarq in its card name was placed by a Vanguard with the unit's ability, this turn, your Vanguard in the grade 3 greater, your front row rear guard in the same column as this unit gains 5,000. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's go with Luruthzul. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 3 Mythiarq in its card name, you may call this to the rear guard circle. When this unit is placed on a rear guard circle, if you have 3 or more units with Mythiarq in its card name, you may soul charge 1, then choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot intercept until end of the turn. Kind of cool. Alright, Dratini Wish.com version. Ooh, auto skill. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to one card choose up to one grade 3 or lower less unit from amongst them, call it to the rear guard, and shuffle the deck. If you have 5 or more units, which includes your Vanguard, by the way, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discard it. So it's kind of nice. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, choose one of your rear guards with Mythiarq in its card name and return it to your hand. Then choose up to one card with Mythiarq in its card name that's different from the one you just bounced into your hand, and you can call it to the rear guard. So it's like the whole Bermuda Triangle skill. Kind of nice. So potentially you get 4 attacks in one turn. Alright, let's get to the main deck. The grade 3s, we will run, of course, 3 copies of Dratini 2.0 because of Persona Right. 2 copies of this guy. So this guy is Mythiarq Imperial. I've seen people run 3 copies, 2 to 3 copies. 2 copies are kind of nice, and the only reason because I have so many other tech ins that take so much space for it. But this card skill is when this unit is placed by the rear guard into the rear guard, and if you have 3 or more units Mythiarq in its name, this unit gains 5,000 until end of the turn. Then counterblast 1 and draw a card. So counterblast, draw 1. Kind of nice. And then moving to the grade 2. So for grade 2s, we run a playset of Mythiarq Millen, and then 3 copies of the 2 from the right deck, the Luruthzul, and then 2 copies of Candelaria, which is a promo. Well, we already talked about this guy, so we're not going to talk about that one. We're going to talk about the promo, the Candelaria. Candelaria is at the end of your turn, you may retire this unit and call up to 2 plant tokens to the rear guard. So I put it in there just so that I can spam the board, so that when I ride into this guy, I can do the force the opponent to discard 1 card. So it's kind of nice. The playset of this card. Okay, this card is pretty cool. Millen. Alright, when this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have 3 or more units with Mythiarq's card name, this gains 5,000 until end of the turn. Then Soul Blast 1, choose opponent's rear guard, and that unit cannot restand during your opponent's next stand phase. So kind of a nice, like an old school Mega Colony skill. Act skill. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with the Mythiarq in its card name, bind the rear guard with Mythiarq in its different card name from this unit. Call a card bound for this card cost to the rear guard. So how do I explain this part? English is hard. Alright, so let's say you have this guy and this guy. Use her skill to bind this guy. Then you can call back this guy, so you can use a counterblast 1, draw 1 again to build your board if need be. So pretty much the whole point of this card is so that you bound a card and then call it back to trigger their on-placement skill again. Alright, moving to the grade 1 lineup. This is where it gets kind of weird. We run 2 copies of Diantha, aka overpriced grade 1 card, 2 copies of Mythiarq Habitat, 3 copies of the grade 1 Mythiarq Elondrina, aka the Ride deck card. And then 2 copies of Burrow Mushrooms, random, right? And then 3 copies of Mythiarq Luruthzul, and then the PGs. 1 Elementary Sanctitude, and then 3 of the Storkea PG. So since we know what this does, we're not gonna even bother with our time with it. Alright, the weird energized bunny looking guy with the... I thought it was a cigar, but it's actually a wine glass. Alright, skill, when this unit boosts a unit with Mythiarq in its card name, if your damage zone has 3 or more face down cards, and you did not countercharge this turn, you may countercharge 1, so countercharger. But Burrow Mushrooms. Essentially, it's an axe skill. You put this unit into the soul, call up to 2 plant tokens, and since we're not running ground field, we don't have to worry about that. The whole point is you use this to soul charge, and you get to spam the board with plant tokens. So you get to meet the condition of this guy. Or just, you know, useless defense, boosting unit. Now this was a promo for pre-ordering, which kind of sucks because you need this card. It's such a good card. Alright, Mythiarq Habitat. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 unit card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and call it to the rear guard. So it's a nice order. But what makes it even better is the 2 other skill that comes with it. Continuous skill in the deck. When you would search your deck or choose a unit from your deck, you may search or choose this card. When this card will be called from the deck to the rear guard, put it into your hand instead of into the drop. So you can fetch this order card for whatever reason. This works well with a lot of Storkea decks. So it's a really like a high chase card. Alright. Grade 1, we already talked about it, so skip. Diantha, the overpriced grade 1 that's kind of needed and thankfully is getting reprinted later on. When this unit is placed on the rear guard from hand, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, choose a grade 3 or less from your drop and call it to the rear guard. So nice build, you know, boarding build. It's cool. During your turn, if you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, this unit gains 5,000, which you will because there's so many grade 1s you're running and the tokens that you'll be spamming out the board. So nice card to have. Alright, last but not least, the trigger lineup. Holy crap, we're finally here. We run 4 generic heals, 4 effect draw triggers, because why wouldn't you? 4 crits, 3 fronts, and Storkea over trigger, aka the rainbow lineup. Why? You know, I ask myself that every day when I wake up. I don't know. It's like life choices. Theoretically, I guess you should run 7 crits. But I think the way I had it built originally, because I didn't have the 3 crits, but it kind of worked out. The board's always bumping. You would attack 1 rear guard, then attack with the Vanguard, bounce 1, call back, so you can get a front trigger to build the board that way. Draw triggers are there so that you get to hit the key pieces in time. The heal triggers are nice because heal, and Storkea over trigger is busted, so why wouldn't you? So yeah, this is what I have. But if I were to suggest it and change it now, it will be maybe 8 crit, 3 draw, and 4 heal. But you do whatever you want because, you know, you're a grown-ass adult with your adult money that you should be wasting on children's card game for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.